We all love a treasure hunt, but what we don't like is a treasure hunt taking way too long. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to collect every single treasure hoard map in Assassin's Creed Valhalla, including the bug ones. I also want to make this guide as quick and easy for you as possible, so that's why I've added timestamps down below in the video. So if you're after a specific map in a specific zone, then skip ahead, because the main goal for me making this video is to get you back into the game as soon as possible. If this does help you out, a like would be great, and if you're feeling adventurous, hit that cheeky subscribe button. But anyway, we've had enough chit chat, we'll come here for treasure, so let's get stuck in. Rygajafylke, probably the first treasure hoard map you came across when you started AC Valhalla. Maybe you haven't got it yet, but to find this, you want to head to Rygajafylke. I think that's how we pronounce it. And it's in this fisherman's hut, which is about the second or third up from the harbour, just on the table there. Now, the clue you're going to get is going to say to go to Torghatton's Rock, which is that island in the middle, but it's going to say to go east from Ledecestrescire. God, the pronunciation's awful, but you know what I mean. In actual fact, we want to head west to this small island, and I'm just going to speed this up for you because a few of the guides that I have seen don't actually show you how to get inside, and this was bugged previously, but I now can confirm that it's not. Get yourselves up into the middle of Torghatton's Eye, in the middle of the cave there, and you're going to pick up your first treasure hoard map. We're on to Ledecestre or Leicestershire. This will be the second power zone, so most likely the second one you'll come across if you head to Venonis, which is where we are now. I like to start on the bridge, gives you good bearings. Don't crouch and sprint like I've just done here, but head into the tunnel under the bridge, get rid of those pots and pans, those boxes, run in there and pick up the Ledecestre, Leicestershire. Now we've got a picture here, and it's a little bit confusing, but thankfully it's not too far from where we've actually picked up the clue. You want to head north of Venonis, just outside town, and you're going to know you're in the right place because you're going to come across some rocks. So a bit of rock formation, there's the town there, but it's just here. Now you want to head towards this maple birch kind of Alban tree, and just in the small kind of, I would say, half cave rock clearing is where you're going to pick up your Ledecestre loot map. Good work. We're on to Grantebridgescire. So with this one, you're going to have to get yourself to the Tuscan Raiders, Buscan Tor Tower, which isn't too far from your settlement. If you have been playing through the storyline, you would have gone on a ride with Randvi around the countryside and you would have come across this. They end up doing the business at the top of this tower, so this is probably where you've actually picked up this treasure map. In any case, if you haven't, you want to get yourself here, get to the top of that Roman statue, the female Roman statue, and then take the treasure map out of her hand. Now the clue that we have here is essentially telling us to go to Grantebridge, and south of Grantebridge is going to be a small fishing village, which is where we're actually going to find the treasure hoard. To find Grantebridge, if you don't already know, it's not too far from where we've just picked up the clue. So it's just a little bit right, a little bit down on the map. Then you want to actually head south of the Grantebridge town, of the fort, and you're going to come across a small village and this well. It's really quite difficult to miss. Drop yourself down, and this is where you're going to pick up the Grantebridgescire treasure hoard. On to the next one. East Anglia is our next one, a stone throw from Grantebridge if you are doing this in order. You want to port yourself to Edmund's Hope. If not, ride yourself here, but certainly fast travel. This is the quickest way to get this hoard map ticked off. Jump yourself down, and what we need to do is we actually need to get inside that chapel there. That is where we're going to pick up our treasure map. To do so, head back inside to the church, knock off the mechanism holding up the ladder, get to the top level and pick up the key. This key is going to open up the chapel, which is going to allow us to pick up the treasure map. But we do have a bit of a journey ahead of us. We've got ourselves a picture clue on this one. Always love a picture clue, none of this riddle nonsense. And this one isn't too challenging to find. If you haven't discovered the area, you want to head north, and it's on the east coast. Now, you're going to know you're in the right place because you're going to see these three hairy, aggressive gangsters down there patrolling our loot. Get rid of them as best you can. Anyway, it will do. Jump down, and just by the lit candle there in the middle of this old Roman ruins is where you're going to find your East Anglia loot. Next one. Oxenefordscire is the next one on the list, and you want to get to a place called the Eastern Barn, which is not too far from the small town of Oxford there. If you do have the ballistic fire arrow, this will melt through this rock rubble wall, which is where we want to go. If not, just grab one of the oil jars there and that'll do the same job as you've just seen. I'm going to speed this up for you guys, but power your way through, go to that rock massive plinth, whatever you want to call it, get out of the way, get it yourself in there, and then pick up the map. On this one, it's directing us to some farms to the south. Not to overcomplicate it, all we want to do is just follow this road down to the south, and you're going to know you're in the right place, because when you do arrive, you're going to see a yellow tent in some old ruins, as it were. Just grab that opal in there by the yellow tent, drop yourself down into the well, and that's the Oxfordshire map done. London town's the next one, gang, and to get that, you don't actually want to be in London. You want to be just outside it to the north in a place called Hamham. Get yourself to this well, really difficult to miss on the road coming from the north of London. Drop down and you're going to pick up the London Hoard Map. Now, this is a pretty good picture as far as pictures go with this whole treasure hunt map game. It's the end of an aqueduct, and that's not too far from where we've just picked up the map, so you want to head north again, just south of the Abbey there. You're also going to know you're going to be in the right place because you're going to come across this ruins here. It's the only ruined old Roman building in the area, so once again it's quite difficult to miss, but you want to head yourself inside, take a left or right depending upon which way you're coming from, and you'll be able to pick up your scheme just there. London done. We're up to Shropshire, or Shropshire, God's country. It's a land of plenty, and you want to get yourself to Hillgate Remnants, which is a tower which you may come across. I say may, you'll come across it in the story. I don't want to give anything away, but get yourself inside, knock down that mechanism holding up the net of storage, jump yourself down into the basement, slide under the wall, and pick up the Shropshire Hoard Map. Now, where we want to go is we want to head to Caustow Castle. And as I said, if you haven't done the storyline and you want to bank this one for later, hold on to it, do so, because you will come across this castle in the storyline. Not going to say anything more than that. Apart from, to actually find it, if you're not bothered, you want to head west to the border of Wales. And when you get to this castle, we don't actually want to go anywhere near it. We want to head down into the small reservoir lake. And to find the loot, it's just off by the fishermen there in the pond. There we go. Next one. Cent, or what is now known as Kent, the Garden of England as they call it. To find it, we want to head south to Dover, and you're going to know you're in the right place because we've got a lovely tower to climb, of course, and it's called Dover Pharos. So you're also going to know you're going to be in the right places when you've got that little world event down there and these two NPCs are chatting. Anyway, we've got a big snake, sexual innuendo inbound, but to actually find this, you want to head west. So when you actually look at it, the map, it's quite obvious, but there's a lot going on, so it's hard to see. Get yourself here, and of course you're going to find quite a few snakes. Just get rid of them. I mean, I make a meal out of this when I shouldn't have done, but just in the eye by the rock there, that's when you're going to pick up your Kent or Cent treasure hoard map. Nice. Next on our list is Lincolnshire. We're on the hunt for some Lincolnshire sausages, but to get started, we want to head to Wisby. When you get to Wisby, you're going to see that, right, well, we need to get in there, but of course, the door's locked. You are going to speed this rapidly up. Time is money. You're going to pick up the key from the boat just in the lake, get inside, and on the left-hand side, you're going to find the treasure map. There's chests and whatnot there, so make sure you loot all that. Now, what the clue here is saying is that we want to get to Skeggy's Beard. And to actually find Skeggy's Beard, we want to trek north. And it's a bit of a mission as far as all the ones we've had comparatively. But Skeggy's Beard is on the east coast of the North Sea. And it's an old Roman tower. I mean, Ubisoft love these Roman towers. And yes, you're right. We need to head to the top to get our sausages. And that is the Lincolnshire treasure hoard map. Ticked off the list. Let's see what we've got next. We're moving into Sussex, but this one is Sussex Crawelie. By the way, if you come here for Sussex, there's about 4 different clues, so you may as well bash them all out in a one because they're quite close together. But this is Crawelie Warehouse, is where we want to go. You're going to know you're in the right place because you've got all of this military armoured dudes walking around. Get yourself inside and pick up the clue. Now, the Crawelie Hoard Treasure Hoard map, we've got ourselves a picture. Bit of a weird picture, to be honest. Did take me quite a while to find, but it is quite simple. You just want to head directly south. You'll get to this small pond here with a lot of flowers. It's very scenic, very nice indeed. Get yourself into the middle, and that particular flower bed where I am right now, that's where you're going to complete the Sussex Crawelie Treasure Hoard map. Sussex round 2, so north of the Sussex Crawelie map, which is the one we did previously, you want to get yourself to the Monk's Lair. Now, something very rambunctious has happened here. There's a lot of death, but just ignore that. Swindle in and pick up the map, and it's going to tell you want to head to Chertsey Abbey. Now, if you haven't discovered Chertsey Abbey, have no fear. It's going to take you about 15 seconds to get there. It's up and to the right. And when you get here, you're going to run through the main entrance archway, take a left, and at the bottom of this large, decrepit old tree is where you're going to tick off your Sussex treasure hoard. Fist bumps all round, good work. More Sussex. I think the Ubisoft developers were just like, let's just sling 4 here. Well, yeah, that's pretty much what's happened. So you want to get yourself to the witch's house, and it's quite similar to the Monk's Lair, but to actually gain entrance, you want to head around the back, get rid of that thatch small vent, if that's what we're going to call it, slide under, pick up the treasure hoard map. And this is where we want to get to next. It's a big picture of a large man. It's called the Wilmington Man, I believe. It's actually a place in England. Won't bore you with the details, but you want to head right on the map. Zoom in, and you're going to see the big chalk man on the side of the ridge. Now, this took me a bit of a while to find, to be fair. It's deceptively hidden, but if you just follow the route, perhaps go back and rewatch this bit again, you'll be able to actually find where it is precisely. It does blend in quite well with the chalk there, but that's Sussex number 3 done. The 4th and final Sussex treasure hoard map is the Sussex Treehouse shop. This one I think is quite overlooked, and not many people do find this, to be fair, because unless you do really go rummaging, you're not going to pick it up. Get yourself to the treehouse. The password to actually get past this small little lad here is Apple, so if he does pester you, just press the Apple dialogue option and you'll get past. You want to speak to the small girl here. She's going to offer you loads of stuff to buy. You want to buy the shoe, the old shoe. That's going to give you the treasure hoard map, and if you just get yourself across the rope there, you're going to pick up an opal. Now, the actual clue itself isn't too bad. It does give you quite a good amount to go on, but for all intents and purposes, you want to head south across this rock bridge, which is where I am right now. So when it says rock bridge, this is what it's talking about. You're going to get yourself up to that cross, which is the leap of faith in the clue. Drop down, pick up the final treasure hoard in Sussex. So we've managed to pull ourselves away from Sussex, and now we head deep into Essex. We want to head to Colchester, and just at the Sancta Helena's Church, this is where we're going to find our clue. I ported myself there. Actually, I don't think you can port on this one. In any case, get yourself here. Get yourself here. Run around the back, pull away that big storage unit, smash the window, get the key, run back inside, and this is where we can unlock the door. Now, if you look up, that's where we want to go. But to get there, we need to move this particular storage unit so we can get on the ladder, and then you're going to want to knock away that mechanism there to climb up to the top of the church. You're also going to find a book of knowledge here. I can't honestly remember what particular ability it was, but we're here for treasure, and that's where we're going to get the map. Now, for the actual treasure itself, we want to head quite far south onto the Thames, and you're going to know you're in the right place because you're going to be near an old decrepit Roman tower, of course, but the actual treasure itself is just outside that near some lavender, and that is where you're going to finish your Essex treasure hoard map. Good job. We're on to Eurvicscire, and probably the most contentious treasure hoard map in the game at the moment, and that's because it is completely bugged, and I think for everyone. I did do a little video about this. It hasn't changed. I did check it as of the date of this post date for this particular video. I will update this video if it does change and if it does get patched. But if you do want to know how to actually get the clue and where it's to be found, then just watching this video will be the one for you. It's the Patura ruins, and then just to the right hand side you're going to come across this old Drenga just lingering about in this particular villa. Now, I have killed the Dringa. It hasn't offered me up the loot either. Now, if we do take a quick look at the clue picture again, we are exactly where it should be. So it should be right here. Now, when it does get patched, I'll let you know. We're heading deep into Viking territory, and we're heading to Jorvik or York. And to pick up this particular treasure hoard map, you want to head to the minster. So the church here. Now, all the doors are going to be completely locked, and I was running around in circles for hours, but you actually just want to get yourself through that small little window on the top left-hand side, pull away the storage unit once you get inside, and you'll find an old altar in the back room, which is the treasure map. Now, it says here, from the top of Suthsexe's Rest, you'll see a lady standing in the southern boundary of York. So to find this, we actually want to head south, believe it or not, but we want to head to Suthsexe's Rest. If you haven't discovered it or zoomed in enough, that is at the real most southern point of York. And you're going to know you're in the right place there, because then you've got yourself a lovely Viking church. Slink yourself down on that rope, get on one of the old Roman statues here, and on the plinth is where you're going to complete your York treasure hoard. We're in Gloucestershire, Gloucestershire, right? And we want to head to Sabrina's Springs. Now, when you get here, you're going to know you're in the right place because you've got an old Roman statue, and this is where you're going to find the treasure hoard map, just on the plinth there. Now, this particular treasure hoard map clue, the picture, bit of a curveball. I thought it was quite difficult, quite challenging to find. But it's left, far top left-hand side of Gloucestershire, and it's in Wincestre, top of a hill. So this old rock formation here is where we want to be. You want to drop yourself down into the alleyway. Get rid of that rock on the floor, pull away the larger rock, and this is where you're going to find your Gloucestershire treasure hoard map. We're heading to Snotinghamscire, so Nottinghamshire, and just right of Odin's Rest. Of Hamthorpe as well, you're going to come across a abandoned library. So with all of these old ruins, there's of course going to be something inside. Get yourself down, slide under the wall, and this is where you're going to pick up Snotinghamshire hoard map. Now, this one basically says that we need to head to Minninglow, and if you don't know where Minninglow is, this is probably the longest trek on a treasure hoard map you're going to find. It's south, not too far from Repton. If you do have the fast travel, port yourself there. Now, in Minninglow, you're going to find an old well at the top of the hill here. That's where you want to go, and that's where you're going to find your Snotinghamshire treasure. Nice. So we're in the end game now. We're heading to Wincestre, and the Bishopric treasure hoard map is located in the bottom right hand side of Wincestre in the bishop's residence. Either blitz yourself through these guards or offer a little distraction, totally up to you, depending upon your skill level. Get yourself up to the 3rd floor, smash your way through that wooden fence, that wooden makeshift door, and you're going to get yourself the bishop clue. Now, this particular clue is the Isle of Wight, and that is south of Wincestre. So just head directly south, sail yourself over. Now, you're going to know you're in the right place just by following the road south, because you can see this big, massive, pretty old oak tree which is dead, and then quite close next to it is the small circular rock formation here. That's going to be the Bishopric hoard map done. Nice work. So we're heading for round 2 in Wincestre, and if you haven't done the Wincestre Bishopric treasure hoard map, look previously on the timestamp on this video, because it's worth picking up that treasure map as well. They're within 20 seconds of each other on the map, so it's worth doing both, right? In any case, get to the seminary here, which is south. Jump on that small chapel entrance just to the church here. Knock away the window, drop yourself down, and you can pick up the seminary hoard map here. Quite similar to the Long Man of Wilmington, which is the treasure hoard map located in Sussex, but this time we want to head north in Hampshire, so Hamtunscire, and then you're going to know you're in the right place because you're going to see a large chalk dog just on the side of a hill in this valley. Now, really difficult to miss this one because the rock formation here is just slightly raised in the valley, so get yourself there and pick up that Wincestre Seminary treasure hoard. Nice work. For our last one, we're in Hamtunscire, Hampshire, and you want to head to Fernham. It's a small building you're after, which is being guarded by Wessex guards. head round the back if you haven't got the power level to knock them away, blitz through them, take off that mechanism which then subsequently drops that storage net, head into the basement and you'll be able to pick up the clue for the Hamtunscire Hoard Map. Bit of a meaty amount of text here, but for all intents and purposes and for paraphrasing and all that kind of jazz, we want to head south of Wincestre into Witchman's Wood, which is north of Wareham. Now, you're going to know you're in the right place because you're going to come across this lovely large tree, which is, of course, at the bottom of the tree is where you're going to find your loot. In any case, that's every single treasure hoard map done and dusted. If this helped, let me know down below in the comments. It's always great reading some of your responses. A like would be great. And if you're feeling particularly adventurous, hit that subscribe because I'm going to be doing loads more videos like this. And it'd be great to get some idea of some things that you might like to see. Thanks, guys.